Okay, everybody, welcome back to the show. Everybody's well. Happy Thursday. Yesterday we were talking about this idea of sacrifice. Today is Israel's birthday, modern birthday. Happy birthday. Yesterday we spoke about this idea of sacrifice, what that means. And at the end of the show I mentioned this concept of it is an honor to sacrifice. And what does that mean? And let me just sort of take this let me just continue our thought yesterday. When you speak to someone, you say, how are you able to wake up early in the morning and work so hard and your money goes to your family, right? Like many people, many people, really, many people are giving away 90% of their income to their family, right? They have very little. If you look at their lives, what do they buy? A new outfit once in a while. They buy a new suit maybe. They go on a couple days vacation. That's it. Really, that's it. And they have stuff, but like they have families and they'll wake up early in the morning and work all day, and that money will just go to their kids, and they'll spend their whole lives building their kids. And you'll say, how do you do it? And they won't even know what you're talking about. Because they're able to see something in their children. They're able to see something in them that makes it so worth it, because the dream of their kids being more than them, the dream of their family being comfortable, the dream of an education, the dream of something is so real and tangible. And all they have to do is get that few dollars in the system and get it to those schools or get it into the grocery stores. And what's happening at a deeper level is they're seeing it, they're touching it, they're feeling it. So the dreams that they have of a better life for their family, their dreams that they have are greater, are more desirable than the sacrifice, which is waking up early and working hard. When you look at people with bigger dreams, a country, a company, an organization, an initiative, and you see somebody in the middle killing themselves, many times what happens, it's very much the same thing. They've taken the time, or they've been given the gift, or they've worked on themselves to see something. What could be with this organization? Look how many people I can help. Look of the shifts in life that I can make. What would be with this company? Look at this product I can bring to market. You look at the story of Tesla, and you see the clarity of the vision of the original founders, even before Elon Musk. Remember, Elon Musk bought the company from a group of people. But even Elon Musk and how he sort of saw this future of EVs before Detroit, before GM, before all the usual car manufacturers. When you see something, it's easier to fight for it because you see it. When you look at people that are fighting for freedom, for homeland, it's a very similar thing. They see it. They can taste it. And all they need to do is just get through a few years or get a certain amount of money or security, whatever it is, even if it's beyond them. And then you look at other people that just can't seem to get it. They can't seem to do it. And the reason, they can't figure out why. Why can't I get up early in the morning? Why can't I not eat that thing? Why can't I? And the reason is because you've been going to the sacrifice before you fixed your beliefs. Now, sometimes in life is, if you're good at sacrifice, you'll believe, then you'll sacrifice, and you'll believe, and you'll sacrifice. But many times in life, the reason why your sacrifice doesn't work is because you haven't spent the time in the belief system. You don't really believe in it yet. You don't really think, you haven't really thought about it yet. You don't see it in your mind's eye yet. You can't picture it yet. If you see the future, if you create that clarity as to what you're fighting for, then the sacrifice gets easier. I taped a podcast a couple of days ago, and this wonderful woman who was interviewing me read a line out of the book Unlocking Greatness. I didn't even remember writing it, but she read it from the book, so I'm like, okay, I'm sure it's in there. I trust you. I just don't remember it. And the line was that most people do not most people do not succeed not for lack of resources. We have enough resources, but for lack of clarity. Most of us do not succeed in life not for lack of resources, but for lack of clarity. We don't really know what we're doing. We don't really have a sense of where we're going. We haven't really created a set of priorities. And so as a result, we don't really know what to sacrifice for, because if I want to do everything, that means I'm really willing to sacrifice for nothing. In fact, I read a quote years ago about um, um, the times in which they had many gods. Polytheism. Rome, Greece, they worshiped dozens to hundreds to thousands of gods. And one of the historians said what that did, what it afforded them, when you serve thousands of gods, then you really serve no gods. There's so much to choose from that you really focus on yourself. And that ultimately was the beginning of the end of the Roman Empire. It was all this historian posited. Because they were so fragmented, you get to choose whatever you wanted. All the choices kept it yourself. You sacrificed for nothing. You didn't sacrifice anymore. If you don't sacrifice, you can't emerge past the pack. When you watch players play, the ones who make it to the top are the ones who sacrifice the most. No question. You could be the best basketball player in the world. If you're not sacrificing, you're not winning the championships. Sacrifice is the prerequisite for extreme success. And the reason we can't sacrifice for things, whether that be spiritual or physical or for relational or career, is because if we're not clear with what we want and we don't prioritize it, we won't muster up that level of need to sacrifice. I can see it. I can taste it. I want it. All I need to do is what? Give up some time and effort and money, whatever. Yeah, I'm in. I want that so badly. But if I'm not willing to see it, if I'm not willing to take the time to understand what it is that I'm after to the point in which I really build up a desire for it, then when push comes to shove, I'm not going to sacrifice for it. And so I won't succeed at it. To wrap our two themes so far this week together, how was it that these Holocaust survivors showed up and had the ability to achieve superhuman feats? Can you imagine an entire generation of extreme PTSD able to show up into a country which they did not speak the language, did not have any family, did not have any education, and then build this incredible world of people? How did they do it for? They had no choice. The dream of settling down and starting again was so real and tangible, so desirous. They're willing to sacrifice whatever it took. Towards the back end of the weekend today, you're talking about a country that showed up. Remember, the Jews had been exiled. There were always Jews in Israel, but for the most part, for thousands and thousands of years, they came back to very hostile conditions. They didn't have an army. They didn't have a navy. They didn't have anything. How'd they do it? And succeed at the highest levels. This is what they call now Silicon Wadi. The center of innovation. The center of military excellence. How? It's all from God, obviously. But how? Because the dream, the reality of what they wanted was so clear. They had no choice. They couldn't miss. So they had to become people that desired it so badly, so they're willing to sacrifice for it. Maybe the reason why we're not more successful is because we don't really take the time to desire the few things that we really want in life. Instead, we sort of like a lot of things, but love nothing. And are unwilling to put in the time and the effort and the sacrifice that it's going to take to be great. You can do a lot of things in your life, but you just can't do them all at the same time. Because you're not going to have enough clarity as to what you want to be to sacrifice for it. Sometimes the few things is enough to push yourself beyond where you can be so that you can achieve things beyond what you thought. Let's think about that. Story of the Holocaust, the survivors, the story of the state of Israel. Big dreams, clear big dreams. Which then leads to tremendous, tremendous, tremendous success. See what you want, but wait. Just give it a second. See it. Don't run. Don't run. Let it seep into your heart. Let it create a desire, so that when the next sacrifice comes your way, you see it's a worthy price for it. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Shabbat shalom. With God's help, I can't wait to see you next week.
Living on a lifeline. The world doesn't ever seem to change. Looking for the sunshine, but you're caught up in the rain. It's like your eyes are wide open, but you cannot see. You're watching life pass you by like 1, 2, 3. Walking in destruction. The winds of life blur your vision. All the devastation forever feels like you're on the run. It's time. No one else can set you free. You're locked inside, and only you